Hi and good evening. This evening, I'm Rosemary Cunningham, by the way, and this evening I'm going to interview my friend Helen Elizabeth Evans. She's speaking at the Essex Business Women's Experience on Friday, which I've been working on for 6 months. And just to show you today, our brochures have arrived. So there's a little celebration. And also, about a month ago, our branded wine arrived. There we are. Let's get that in the camera. So, all sorts of exciting things to show you on Friday. And Helen is one of 18 amazing speakers. Hi, Inga. That we personally selected because we've created an event that we would want to go to. I've had my own business since 1993, and I run a group called Winning Women Essex, and we wanted to do something to showcase the beautiful women of Essex, because we had people coming from other counties saying how amazing the women of Essex were. So we created this event 2 years ago. My friend Becky Mayrose helped me, and she's back working with us this time. And it's an event. It's called the Business Women's Experience because we wanted it to be something for all the senses. So we have amazing food. We're in a beautiful venue with a whole view. It's right by Southend Pier, so we're right on the seafront. It's a stunning place. And there's some fascinating, inspiring talks. We've got 60 stands of Essex woman-led businesses, and also a startup zone. So if you don't have your own business yet, but you might like one day, then please come. One lady actually told me she was going to do a sickie from work today because she so desperately wants to be there. I'm sure that's not true, of course, but I love it. I get really excited when people see our event and go, I need to be there. Because when you've spent 6 months creating it and it's the third one, it's a big event to create. Anyway, so to Helen. So Helen she came along last year and she spoke, but we've known each other a long time, haven't we, Helen?
We have, absolutely, yes.
We certainly have. And about 5 years ago, Helen did me a scientific hand analysis, or a scientific hand and fingerprint analysis. And I'll be totally honest, it scared me. I went up to her home in London and she took black prints of my hand. She put my hands on an ink block and she took prints of my hands. And then she got a magnifying glass out and she read them. And what she told me was just phenomenal. It scared me. She told me I was more intuitive than I had any idea about. She told me about these gift markers that were on my fingers, which were basically things that I really needed to achieve during my lifetime. Otherwise, I'd have to come back and do it again. And I carried this analysis around with me for ages, and I've still got it now, and I still go back to it. Indeed, I had a coaching session with Helen in about November because I knew this was the year for me to change my business and step into something new. So the picture she gave of me, which is what she might do for you, is to show you your potential. Helen tells you how incredible you really are and what you could achieve if you got out of your own way. And without a doubt, it was the most valuable investment I have ever made in myself and my career. Me first, my career second, but very definitely. And this is what she does for people. She has a huge fan base. So when we were arranging this event again, it was absolutely without question that I wanted her to be there because I know she can offer you some amazing guidance and inspiration as well. So Helen, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Very hot on this fabulous day.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. So, my dear, what are you going to be telling us about this year? Do you want me to read it out, or are you going to tell the ladies what you're going to be telling them about?
Well, I'm going to be...
And gentlemen.
Yes, of course. Hopefully there'll be a few gentlemen that will come in. Kathy has just shared something to you. Oh, Helen's fabulous. So insightful and very generous heart. Oh, Kathy, I love you, darling. Thank you so much. I hope I haven't missed anybody else's comments. Kathy said hello earlier. And Inga says she's got her train tickets already bought, so delighted. What am I going to be talking about? I am going to be talking about, and this, by the way, came from me asking people, what would you like me to share with you? What do you want to really know? Because I wanted something that I could share with you that was really valuable in 45 minutes. And what people wanted to know was, what was the entrepreneurial personality? And I was fascinated by this concept because, of course, a lot of what I do and what comes out of your hands is the amount of information is vast. Could I distill it all down into a 45-minute presentation on entrepreneurial personality? And what I discovered was that in actual fact, that there are very specific traits, I'm sure that you know, that entrepreneurs are purportedly have. So in order for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you should have these particular traits. And I'll definitely be sharing them with you and going through with you what are the traits that are considered essential for an entrepreneur. But then again, I'm also completely about how can you be you? How can you be completely unique to you? Because I really believe that you have two things going on. You have one on a spiritual level, you need to be completely you because that's who you've committed to be. But on a real pragmatic, sensible level, being yourself, it makes you congruent. You know what I mean? It allows people to trust you because they kind of consent that you're being true, that you're being honest and authentic. And also, it's where your true gift is, because it's how you are unique and different and how you can stand out in the world and be noticed. And a lot of us don't feel comfortable being ourselves. So how can you be you and still be successful entrepreneurially is what I'm going to be talking to you about. And one of the things that will help me to sort of like decide and help you with doing that is having a look at some of your hands, because your hands are such a strong reflection of where you put your energy, what's going on with your personality, whether you are, quite decisive or not so decisive. And neither of them are a bad attribute to have. No matter what attributes show up in your hands, none of it is bad. It's about how can I use this particular skill of this aspect of my personality in a way that is really useful to me. And I want you to go away completely excited, thrilled, and like, oh my God, I can do this, is how I want you to feel by the time you leave. That is, I'm not going to let you leave that room if you don't feel really, really excited about going out and doing your business. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a business yet or not, because sometimes we don't go into business. We kind of feel this calling to do our thing, but we haven't kind of got out there and done it yet because we think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't know enough, or, there's so many things that go on in our head. I don't have enough money. I'm not in the right position if I move from my job. There's so many stories that we tell ourselves. Whereas I think if you just, one of the key personality traits of an entrepreneur is confidence. And so confidence in who you are, a real strong sense of who you are. I want you to leave the room feeling great about who you are, and basically wanting to get out there and just do something that is special and unique about you.
Wonderful. And I must admit, this is our third Essex Business Women's experience now. And the reason it involves a lot of work, believe me. And the reason we did it again this year was because at the end of the day, or during the day, but particularly at the end of the day, I wander around and I talk to people and I just say, how was it for you? And these ladies have such a glow about them and an excitement. And it was amazing. I saw this and I saw that and I met this person and that was fantastic. And I send them back to Facebook because it's the easiest thing these days. And we got 18 5-star reviews on Facebook that week. And
wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely. And that's what convinced me to do it again, because we get feedback from people who've got business partnerships and collaborations there. They've made amazing contacts and all sorts of things. So that's what this day is about, ladies. Come along, bring your business cards. Don't throw them in anyone's face, but come to a speed networking event if that's your thing. If not, just mill around and talk to people in the queue for the coffee. Books. Plan your day, please. Have a look in advance. If you go on the website under the workshops tab, there's a list of the workshops, and just go through and decide where you want to be at what time, and then you can plan your day in advance. I mean, there's a list in here, but if you can plan in advance, it'll be much better. And there's no prior booking for those workshops, so you just need to turn up 10 minutes before and be ready.
And I know, just saying that, I remember last year, people coming to find me later and saying, oh my God, I missed your talk because I was still planning and I didn't realize that you were on. And so, the talks I think start at 10:30. So just be sure that you've done all your planning by 10:30 and are going to, have figured out who you're going to go and see and what you're going to go and do. My talk starts at 11:30 in the Queen Mary room. I followed directly after Helen Vandenberg, and she's going to be talking about selling with soul, and she starts at 10:30. There's a little bit of a break between each session, so you can go and get yourself a cup of tea. But plan in advance if you can.
do. And of course, with you have a stand in the ballroom. So if you want to go and talk to Helen, you can go and find her at her stand in the
little
ballroom.
one, just like a seat and a table, just so that you have somewhere to come and find me, just to come and talk to me.
Yeah. Well, so Helen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Let me think. What was I thinking about? That's really. I mean, I can't. I'm really, really passionate about the idea that actually the way we're going to change the world is for us to all go out and do our own thing, to bring our gifts into the world, right? And actually share them with the world and make a difference. And so if you have even a little slight inkling inside yourself, and I can see my pictures going all funny here. I hope you can still hear me fine. If you have any slight inkling inside yourself of wanting to perhaps do something on your own, of just a hint of wanting to make a difference in the world, then do that. And one thing I did want to read to you, because I thought that this was really, really good. I looked actually for somebody put a list of what did they call it? They said basically personality traits that in many times are considered negative personality traits for most people, but actually for entrepreneurs they're really, really positive. So if any of these fit for you, then you are meant to be in business, definitely, right? First of all, being one-track minded, being a bit obsessive, unstoppable, like you've got a plan and you're going to follow it through. We can be, I mean, I can definitely be one a bit, it's also, what's also appropriate is if you don't want to use the word, say, obsessive or one-track minded, another way that you might describe this is, an overachiever. When you do something, you decide to do it and you get it done. Another one, which is so true for me, is problems with authority. You do not like people telling you what to do, right? You don't like being given directions. You like to just basically just go ahead and get stuff done. And you often question authorities. I like that, there's a bit of, and so the way that I describe it within me, this is my term, I've described it as maybe you're an open rebel, but you also could be a bit of a hidden rebel, which is what I am. I kind of, appear to conform, but behind the scenes I'm doing my own thing, which I think women tend to be much more likely to be hidden rebels than out and out rebels. And then there is, this one is that, often, I don't know whether this is always true, but basically you either have a series of failed relationships or you have no relationship at all. Because it's not that you lack commitment, it's just that you're so committed to whatever you're passionate about, that you don't invest in, having a partner or whatever the case may be, because that does take some investment. I mean, I was lucky enough to, in some ways, develop that part of my life before I got into my entrepreneurial streak. And so now that part is organized and I can just focus on my business. But if you've struggled a lot with that and just because of your one-track mindedness, it doesn't mean you lack commitment. It's just that you're committed to something different. Also, I thought this was a really interesting one, which I didn't expect to be on the list, but it's if you are a bit of an introvert, a hermit, a recluse, a typical attribute of an entrepreneur is to be an extra, it's supposed to be that you're supposed to be an extrovert. I will tell you that even though I come across as an extrovert, I am fundamentally an introvert, a recluse, and a hermit. I would, that's how I recharge, is to go back home. And if you are that kind of person, that's okay. And then the other one, which I loved, was also considered supposed to be a negative attribute, but I thought was great, is that you're a little arrogant. Maybe you're not upfront about it, but, you actually do... Well, let me just read it to you. It says, humility and false modesty are traits that don't necessarily serve entrepreneurs well. So actually being humble is not the way to go. So you have permission to actually tell everybody how great you are and what you're doing is great, and actually really value yourself. I love that. And basically also remember, the first person who has to believe in you and your project is you. So it's, I remember, I've done projects that a perfect example that I often use is extending my house. How difficult it was to get my husband on board to actually do this extra work that we needed to. I had to be the visionary. I had to be the one who said, I know what I'm doing and I'm going to do it. And I think business is exactly the same thing. Other people follow you afterwards. You have to believe first. So it's okay for you to say you know what you're doing and trust yourself. And if any of those fit you, then you need to be in the room with me, because you're going to love what I have to share. But even if they don't all fit you, come anyway. And will fire you up and get you excited about sharing what you are naturally gifted at. And by the time you leave, you'll be intrigued and excited about both your hands and your fingerprints too.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, just to add one sentence, which is when I first worked with Helen, I was a therapist working in my spare bedroom. And then I sold the house with a spare bedroom in it. And I'm no longer a therapist who works in a spare bedroom now. I've launched 3 networking groups and 1 fairly major event. And my life's very different now, and we'll be going forward, hence speaking to Helen last November. So Helen, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you on Friday. Tickets are still £10 each or £15 for 2. Courtney says hello. That's on Eventbrite. They will be £15 on the door. £15 means bring a friend, and we have breakfast networking too for an extra £10 if you want to come along between 8 and 9:30, or stop afterwards and join us in the bar. No charge for that, just buy yourself a glass of wine at the bar. So thank you so much, my dear. Thank you for watching, everyone, and come and join us on Friday and have a fabulous day. I've seen the programme. I know what's in it. It will be amazing, and I think the sun's due to be out as well, so you're by the seaside, so make an evening of it, okay?
Well, let me just quickly show the links. This is the link so that you can go and find out more about the Essex Businesswoman's Experience. By the way, that should say .com on the end. And then if you want to pick up your tickets, here's a nice pretty link for you to go and buy your tickets. You can click on this. It's a bit.ly link, and then it's Essex Businesswoman's Experience, EBWE, tickets, TKTF. And that will take you straight to the purchase page. And we can't wait to see you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Helen. Thank you.